ما يزال الناس في خير ما أخذوا العلم عن أكابرهم. People will remain upon good as long as they take knowledge from their elders. The scholars of Islam, Ikhwan, have explained this tremendous narration. That here we see, Ikhwan, that if one is seeking increase in good, if one is seeking blessings, which is the meaning of al-barakah, then let them find it with their elders. Those who have experience, those who have lived through trials and tribulations, those who have lived through difficulties, Ikhwan, and because of that, they become wiser. And because of the Ikhwan being towards the end of their lives, more inclined towards good. So the scholars, they say, sit with these individuals so that you can learn from their experience. And this is the opposite, Ikhwan, of what we find today in the West of this youth culture. This idea, Ikhwan, of the elders moving out of the way and making room for the young folk. This is not from our methodology. This is not from our way. Look at the noble companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As we find in the narration collected by Al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim fi Sahihayhima, and also Al-Tabari in his tafsir, that Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, كنا عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وقال أخبروني عن شجرة تشبه المسلم. In the narration it mentions that they were sitting with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he said to the noble companions, inform me about a tree. Tell me about a tree in the desert that resembles the Muslim. And he began to describe that tree for the believers. And the people, Ikhwan, began to discuss that matter. And Abdullah ibn Umar said, وَقَعَ فِي نَفْسِي أَنَّهَا النَّخْلَةِ. Abdullah ibn Umar, ya Ikhwan, he said, it came to my mind, it came to me that it was the date palm tree. وَرَأَيْتَ أَبَا بَكْرَ وَعُمَرَ لَا يَتَكَلَّمَانِ فَكَرِهْتُ وَنَتَكَلَّمْ. But look, Ikhwan, at this tremendous statement of Abdullah ibn Umar, who narrated more narrations than any companion after Abu Hurairah. Look what he said, ya Ikhwan, but I looked, and I did not see Abu Bakr, and I did not see Umar speaking, so I hated to talk. I disliked to say a word because I did not see Abu Bakr, and I did not see Umar say a word, so I didn't want to say a word. So no one answered the question. So the Messenger of Allah said, إِنَّهَا النَّخْلَةِ, indeed is the date palm tree. So after they left from that sitting, Ibn Umar went to his father Umar, he said, Ya Abata, oh my father, wallahi, وَقَعَ فِي نَفْسِي أَنَّهَا النَّخْلَةِ. He said, by Allah, it came to me that it was the date palm tree. And Umar, he said, what, ya Ikhwan, مَا مَنَعَكَ أَن تَقُولُ? What stopped you from saying the word, from answering the question? He said, I looked at y'all. وَلَمْ أَرَاكُمْ تَتَكَلَّمُونَ. I looked and I did not see you say anything. فَكَرِهْتُ وَنَتَكَلَّمْ. So when I saw that you didn't say anything, and Abu Bakr didn't say anything, I hated to say a word. Look at the etiquette, Ikhwan, of Ibn Umar. Look at his etiquette, ya Ikhwan. He had the correct answer. He went on to be one of the scholars from the companions without a question or a shadow of a doubt. But here he is, Ikhwan, not wanting to say a word. The first thing he does is look to his elders. The first thing he does is look to his elders, even though he had knowledge, even though he had the answer, because he understood the etiquette that he learned from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the etiquette, Ikhwan, that we learn from the noble companions. This is what they learned at the feet of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, Ikhwan, he mentioned this tremendous work in Jami', the chapter من كره الرواية في بلد فيه من هو أسن منه. The chapter concerning the one who hates to relate narrations in a country where there's someone older than him. A whole section, a whole chapter, Ikhwan. When the scholars of Islam who dislike talking, dislike narrating narrations, when there were those present among them who were older than them. From them, Ikhwan, Samur ibn Jundub, radiyallahu anhu, he mentions, Kuntu ala ahdi nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ghulaman. He said, during the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I was a youth, I was a young man. Wa kuntu ahfadh anhu. And I had memorized narrations from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَمَا يَمْنَعُنِي عَنِ الْقَوْلِ. But what stopped me from talking? إِنَّهُ كَانَ هُنَا رِجَالًا أَسَّنْ مِنِّي. Look what Samur ibn Jundub said, ya Ikhwan. He said, but what prevented me from talking is there are people here who are older than me. He said, I memorized narrations from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, but what prevented me from talking, what prevented me from speaking? There are those in my presence who are my elders, those who are older than me. There is virtue, ya Ikhwan, in your elders. There is virtue in those who have preceded you. And it is a bad etiquette, Ikhwan, that we find among so many of the people, Ikhwan, that they sit among their elders and they're ready to talk, prepared to answer questions. Where did they learn this from? They did not learn it, as we see, from Abdullah ibn Umar. They did not learn it from Samurah. They did not learn it, Ikhwan, from the likes of Sufyan ibn Uyayna. We find in the narration, Ikhwan, that Sufyan ibn Uyayna, Ikhwan, visited Abu Bakr ibn Ayyash in Mecca. And it mentions that when Sufyan sat down, Abu Bakr began to say to him, Kayfa anta ya Sufyan? How are you, O Sufyan? Kayfa iyal abik? How is your father's family, O Sufyan? And it mentions, Ikhwan, in the narration, Ja'a rajul, a person came with Sa'ala Sufyan and hadith, and someone came to ask Sufyan ibn Uyayna, Amir al-Mu'mineen fil hadith. He was known as Amir al-Mu'mineen fil hadith, from the leader of from the believers of the people of hadith. From the highest levels of knowledge, from the highest levels of memorization, from the A'immah, the Imams of this affair. And someone came to ask him about a hadith. And he said, La tas'alni ma dama hadha shaykh qa'idan. Don't ask me a question as long as this shaykh is sitting here. Talking about Abu Bakr ibn Ayyash, don't you dare ask me a question while this shaykh is sitting among us. Look at the etiquette of Sufyan ibn Uyayna, an imam of the Sunnah, an imam of hadith. But look at his etiquette, ya Ikhwan. Look at his character. And don't, Ikhwan, believe this is simply a matter of tawadhu', simply a matter of humility. That is part of it. Humility is part of the affair, but it is also our way. It is also our methodology. It is also our understanding. The Messenger of Allah said, Laysa minna min lam yuwaqqir kabirana wa la yarham saghirana. He is not from us who does not honor his elders and have mercy upon our youth. Al-Mubarak 40, Ikhwan, Al-Allam Al-Mubarak 40, he mentions in Tuhfat Al-Ahwadi, the explanation of At-Tirmidhi, that the meaning of Laysa minna, Laysa ala tariqatina. He is not upon our way. Honoring the elders is our way. Being respectful in the face of your elders is our way. It is the methodology of the noble companions. From that which we have seen from these narrations, it is the way of our ulama, the likes of Sufyan ibn Uyayna and other than them. So let us be from those, Ikhwan, who show respect and honor to those who have preceded us, those who came before us, and do not allow anyone, ya Ikhwan, ka'inan man kan, whoever he may be, do not allow anyone to disrespect those who preceded you.